From the Voodoo Barbecue, 2740 Severn here in Metairie, it's the Prep Recruiting Insider. We are at the place where there is great food. Ooh, look at that. And great football and great football players. And today we're talking with some of the great football players from Karr High School as Edna Karr won the state championship in Class 4A. Hello everybody, I'm Ken Berthelot along with our recruiting guru, Renee Nadeau, and this is Edna Karr Day. And Renee, we have a dynamite show starting off with Coach Jabar Juluke of Edna Karr.
You know, a game that they really took over and won, and congratulations to Coach Juluke and the Karr Cougars. But we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. I'm excited to have these guys with us today.
Karr, the only high school to win, the only #2 seed to win. So every other #1 seed was a winner in the state championship game. But Karr, the #2 seed, comes back and wins against the #1 seed, upsets #1 seed Neville. Coach Jabar Juluke, congratulations. I know you had 2 opportunities to get it in the past. Your quarterback got hurt last year. This year, everything fell into place. You guys played like a champion and you won. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're just very excited about what our kids have done the last 4 years actually. This senior class have won 49 games, only lost 8 games in their high school career. So we're very excited about that. And our coaching staff has done a remarkable job of getting our young men ready to play week in and week out.
You know, in the fourth quarter, you guys win 29-22. But in the fourth quarter, you're trailing, Jabar, and your seniors and your leaders of this team kind of took over a little bit.
Yeah, we talk about adversity. We want to see how people respond in adverse moments. Adversity builds character. But we say that adversity, it reveals your true character. And your true character is going to come out in you when you have adverse moments. And we knew we was playing against a good football team. We knew it was going to be a 48-minute game. You know, we had to go out and play our best football, especially in the fourth quarter. And our young men responded extremely well.
Speedy Noel, hurt last year, which hurt your opportunities in this game. And if you'd say you lost last year, probably because Speedy got hurt and couldn't play in this game. Often a young man will come out the very next year and say, man, I want to do it all because I didn't get the chance to do it last year. What was his approach to the game, and how did he help this team be a winner this year?
Well, Torrey Dennis is his quarterback coach, and he and I talked. And we wanted to make sure that Speedy allowed the game to come to him. Just natural instincts will tell you that you want to go out on the biggest stage and prove to people that last year wasn't me, wasn't my best performance. So I want to come out and play my best game. In actuality, he did play his best game because he allowed his supporting cast to assist him in winning this game. You know, you talk about Jeremy Jameson, ran the ball extremely well. Standish Dobar caught the ball. Offensive line did an outstanding job. I want to mention one young man, Darian Hayes. He tore his ACL in the spring game against ourselves in May, had surgery in July, and worked his butt off to get back into this game and play the state championship game the entire game.
Wow. You know,
outstanding job.
One guy, Jabar, we talked about it off the air, your punter, Fred Bailey.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about 3 phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams, what a great job your punter and special teams did in a part of this championship.
You know, we talk about the 3 phases of the game, offense and defense. We tell our special teams you got to be special. So they were special on Friday night. Fred did an outstanding job of punting the ball. I want to say he punted the ball 2 times inside the 5-yard line, and it gave them a long field to go. And our defense, we give them a little edge to come out and be excited and get out the people. And we held them inside the 10-yard line, and we were able to get great field position. And we only had the ball 40 times. So the field position that Fred gave to us was very important and very vital to our success.
And in those 40 times, your opponent took Speedy Knowles rushing out of the game, holding him to 18 yards. But when your opponent takes away one of your weapons, you find another way to beat him, and you did. How did you do that?
Jeremy did that for us, man. Can't talk about this young man enough. Jeremy transferred away from us to West Jefferson, came back in his senior year, and did a remarkable job. He ran the ball extremely hard. On the offensive line, gave him some holes to open up. Bryce Brown is our offensive coordinator. He had a great game plan and put it together on what we can do and what we could not do against a great team in Neville. And Jeremy just played phenomenal for us.
You know, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, Coach, but, you know, next
but
year, if you're lucky enough to get back for a 4th time, that's unprecedented for the 4th time. You have a chance to win a state championship again. A lot of things have to happen. But the 4th game of the season next year is against John Curtis. I'm already kind of looking forward to 2013. You have a great team coming back. As you project forward, you know, things look bright for the Karr Cougars.
Absolutely. I think the program is headed in the right direction. My coaches are doing a phenomenal job. I just can't commend them enough, because without them, it wouldn't be a successful program. And I really do understand that. Next year, our schedule, we only have 3 games in 9 district that's already scheduled. We're looking for weeks 2 and 3. But week 4, we're playing against John Curtis, who I think is the poster child for Louisiana football. Not just New Orleans football, but Louisiana football. And in order to get better, you have to play better teams. And we are fortunate enough that we have a good program, and we want to play the best. And I think that John Curtis is the best program in the state, and it's going to give us a great measuring stick on how we are. I don't know if we can go back to the state championship, but I know we're going to come out and play hard. We'll play with some discipline, and we're going to play fast. And if we do those things, we can be awarded an opportunity to play a long time next season.
You know, this is a recruiting show, and you have a lot of players, both seniors and juniors, Jabar, that's being recruited. You have 4 or 5 guys that are playing in bowl games that are alums of Karr, and you got Lagania from Minnesota, you got Munchie, so you got, and Cornelius Lucas at Kansas State. So this program has produced a lot of great players, and there's the very fertile territory for recruits.
Absolutely, man. We're very proud of it. Actually, in the last 10 years, we've had 70 Division I, 1AA, Division II, NAIA ball players to play college football. Wow. This is a remarkable number. And that says a lot, once again, about the coaches. You know, we have 13 coaches on staff, 10 play that Karr. So they love the tradition, they love what we build. Coach Watney gave me a great fertile ground to build upon, and the foundation has already been set, and the principles and the values have already been set. And the thing that we're most proud of, not only they're playing the games, in the Bowls games, they're graduating. They're coming back with their degrees, and we're excited about that, man. It's a great time to be a Karr Cougar.
And you know, it also says a lot about the coaching when knowing you had been there 2 times before, knowing that you tried so hard but failed to win it, that this year when you fell behind in the 4th quarter, the first time this year that Karr trailed in the 4th quarter of a game, you as a coaching staff pulled this team together and you went back out and you got it. You didn't let it get away. My goodness, that says an awful lot about what you've done with these kids.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, my assistants, they there. They put in the long hours, and we knew going in that we had our hands full. We knew it was going to take a full 4 quarters to play and possibly some overtime. We were conditioned mentally, we were conditioned physically to do what we needed to do to put our kids in the best position to be successful. And we knew that they had more time of possession than us. They dominated 32 minutes to 16 minutes, but we knew that they had to score touchdowns, and they kicked field goals. And field goals were not going to win that football game. And we kept scoring touchdowns, and we made the best of all the little time that we did have with the ball, but we made the best of it.
In a minute left, Jabar, you know, Texas A&M has the 12th man. Karr, that home field advantage with the fans, you got to say a lot about the fan support you have.
Yes, sir. Our fans are the best. We played 2 games at home against St. Augustine and Holy Cross in the playoffs, and we were asked multiple times to move the game, but it would have done an injustice to the Algiers community if we would have moved the game, because we have people that walk to the game. We have people that cannot get across the river. So we were not only representing Edna Karr, but we were representing the entire Algiers community in those 2 games. That's why we played at home, and those fans came out in droves and big time in support of us in the Superdome. And then also the St. Augustine family, my family at St. Augustine, came out in support in the Superdome, and it was just for the whole city, and we enjoyed it.
Well, congratulations to you, the job you and your entire coaching staff did with this team. Congratulations on the 4A state championship.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, Renee Nadeau has 6 different Karr Cougar players to talk with. You'll meet 3 of them in just a moment from the Voodoo Barbecue on Severn, right off Veterans and Metairie.
Welcome back to the Prep Recruiting Insider. We're here at Voodoo Barbecue, 2740 Severn, and we're here talking to the state champion Karr Cougars, who just won a state championship 29-22 over Neville. And with us to our far left is Gerald Willis, defensive end, junior, cornerback Noel Ellis, a senior. headed to Texas A&M, and Speedy Noel, the quarterback, junior as well. And guys, thanks for being here with us. Congratulations, first of all. Speedy, I'm going to start with you. It's a little different from 2012 to 2011. You kind of had to watch from the sidelines last year a little bit with the injuries.
Well, looking into all the season, being hurt, knowing that I can make plays for the team and getting the job done, it hurts because at the same time, I could have been at that stage where I could have been catching the ball, getting into the end zone for the team and making plays.
Noel, you know, you had a great season as a cornerback, great ball skills, and headed to Texas A&M right now. Talk a little bit about the state championship game. Y'all were very challenged with John Dyaris and the Neville attack. You did a great job. Didn't have the ball. They had the ball 67 plays, and you made them kick field goals instead of touchdowns. That was a challenge, wasn't it, for the defense?
It was really challenging. We just had a good game plan going out against them. And game plan was just to be physical, not play around with them. And I think we did a good job with that.
Gerald, you playing defensive end. I know in the playoffs you took one to the house, interception, so you got some ball skills. But it was a challenge playing. What was the challenge playing against this Neville offense that was kind of unique in this state championship game?
The challenge was to not get blocked, and the challenge was to tackle the quarterback. That they said he's a big quarterback, and you got to hit him, and we was hitting him. He still was standing up. So the challenge was to tackle him.
You know, last time we visited, John, I'm going to stay with you for a second. Last time we visited, LSU was playing Alabama, and you were heading up to the game. You have another year to go, but you have some visits scheduled, and where do you plan to visit as you go into your senior year?
I'm planning to probably visit LSU, of course, probably USC, Florida, and I think that's it.
And what are you looking for in a school? Is it a defensive scheme? Is it a defensive coordinator? Is it the players? What are you looking for in a team?
What I'm really looking for in the team is if I'm comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I'm a good at, but if I'm comfortable, and what I'm looking for in the team is the D-line is the heart of the team.
Now, they got you. Can you play inside and outside defensive end or defensive tackle? Do you feel comfortable?
I think I could do it, but I really want to play defensive end.
Okay, Noel, right now you committed to Texas A&M. What is it about the Aggies that sold you on going up to College Station?
I love that place. I went to a game one time, and I just love the atmosphere around there. The fans are nice, and the coaching staff, I feel very comfortable with them. I like the players. It's just a good place to be, and I like what's going on there too. They just had a Heisman Trophy winner, and I think in about a few years we'll be a powerhouse.
Johnny Football, it was kind of exciting. You had to feel good about watching the Heisman vote and see that Johnny Manziel took the trophy back to Texas A&M.
Yeah, it's just been an all-around good week for me. First, I was selected to play in the Under Armour All-American game, and then we won the state championship. Then I saw how he won a Heisman, and it just bringing all the hype to Texas A&M, and I love it.
Now, when you commit to a school, a lot of times it kind of heightens the intensity of other schools. Have other schools come after you, and are you pretty solid with the Aggies?
I'm pretty solid with the Aggies. No other school has a chance with me.
Okay, Speedy, I know you have another year to go, and we've talked before. And what visits do you have coming that you're going to go look as you go into your senior year?
I would like to visit LSU one more time. The Aggies with Noel Ellis. I will go see USC, Notre Dame, Alabama, Florida, and Florida State.
Now, you're playing quarterback right now. Where do you feel like your skill set is on the next level?
Well, playing wide receiver.
Okay.
Going against the top cornerbacks, making plays, getting the job done. Well, for a college level, I'm looking to see if the team is getting the ball to the wide receiver. 60-40 passing, open spread, and making plays from the wide receivers.
Now, you know, right now the success a team, is it imperative for you to see the team that you're considering being a bowl game and have the national success?
Well, yes, I'd like to be in the national championship, winning it like we did with the Karr, coming together, being family, and doing it for the community.
Now, I know, Gerald, your brother's over in Alabama right now, and I'm sure he's kind of filling your ear with some ideas. And how much has that Landon Collins, how much has that helped you with the recruiting process?
Just seeing him go through the process of the recruit process, and just seeing all the media, all over, people asking questions and stuff. So he'll just sit down and talk to me, say just be calm, and he said just go wherever you feel comfortable, just go. Just don't let nobody push you or go into a school you don't want to go to.
Now, Jabar has told us, Coach Juluke has told us that, you know, academics is very high with you guys. How important is the academic side to you where you decide to go to school?
Academics is important because football is not your whole life. So you got to have academics to have a plan B. So.
Now, Noel, your dad played at Tulane, and I'm sure Texas A&M is certainly an academic school. What do you plan on taking at Texas A&M?
I always had my major set since I was in middle school, so I was majoring in broadcast journalism because I like to write, and I want to be a broadcaster or ESPN analyst one day, so I'll pursue a major in that.
So you may be sitting in this chair soon, man.
Yep.
That's great.
You're doing your job.
Speedy, we were talking a little bit, and we have a minute left to go. Besides the state championship football team, you have a chance to be a part of basketball, and you also run track. So your athletic career here is junior year doesn't end. You have a lot of those sports you're still involved in.
Well, I should have 2 more rings coming up for the team, playing basketball with the young team and running track with my track team.
Now, what do you run in track?
Well, I do the 4x1, the 4x2, the long jump, and triple jump.
Okay, and you also, I guess, with Noel moving on, you'll be involved in the 7-on-7 this summer, and that's always a great thing to be involved with.
Well, yes, getting a team together, preparing for the season, and seeing what's the weakness so we can help prepare it for the real season.
Has the Noel, I'm asking you as a senior, has this kind of hit you that you guys are state champions finally?
It hasn't hit me at all yet. I don't know when it will hit me. I'm guessing when we get our rings, or if I see a banner or something with us in the gym, but it hasn't hit me yet.
Okay, well, guys, we appreciate you being here. Jared Willis, Noel Ellis, and Speedy Noel. We appreciate you being here again. Congratulations on a state champion, finally bringing it home, and 2 of you guys have a chance to maybe get another one next year. We're going to take a break here on Prep Recruiting Insider. Come back with more Edna Karr Cougars right here, 2740 Severn at Voodoo Barbecue. Welcome back to Voodoo Barbecue, 2740 Severn in Metairie, right off of Veterans Boulevard. And tonight we're talking to the Karr Cougars, the state champion, 4A state champion Karr Cougars, who took the championship away from Neville 29-22, or won it over Neville this past Saturday. And with us today on the Prep Recruiting Insider is senior tight end Standish Dobard. To his right is senior strong safety Elsie Refuge, and Jeremy Jamison, running back senior, who was the MVP in the game. Congratulations, guys, and thanks for being with us. Jeremy, I'm gonna start with you. You left for a spell, went to West Jefferson, came back to Edna Karr, and I'm sure you're glad you came back now. Now, you know, talk a little bit about the game. You're a guy that has done a great job. You had 129 yards, you had a 53-yard run. Your skill set was really outstanding, and Neville couldn't really figure you out, but it was a big game. Talk a little bit about the game plan and the game you had this past weekend.
Well, the game plan was just, we knew we were going to run the ball a lot, because like, they were going to keep on speeding to make all the plays. And then when the plays came to me, I just did what I had to do, and I got my team the victory.
And you had 2 touchdowns in the game, and was there a point in the game, Jeremy, that you know, the defense held the Neville team to just some field goals? Was there a point where you can kind of see the tide starting to turn a little bit towards the Cougar?
Yeah, once they was getting the field goals, I felt the adversity coming to us. Like, we started getting better, getting focused more.
Now, Elsie, you're a strong safety, a linebacker type. Neville had the ball 67 times, 33 minutes. You guys were really challenged in this game, and Neville had a good offense. What was the challenge? What was the toughest thing about defending Neville?
Probably be their physicality. They're a big physical team. We're a big physical team, so when you got bodies just going head to head with each other, it's kind of hard to stop it. But some kind of way we found a way to be the more physical team.
Now, Elsie, was there a team that you played prior to the state championship game that they were similar to?
You could kind of say that it was similar to like St. Aug, because St. Aug has a big
threat in Leonard Fournette, and they have a big threat in John Diaz. So it's kind of like the same, tackling the same person, except Leonard just a little bigger.
Now, Stannis Dobar, being a tight end, you had a chance to catch the ball, had a good game, and their defense was tough to run against and catch against. What kind of defense did Neville have that posed any special challenges for you guys on Saturday?
Well, they were stronger. Like, they was one of the strongest teams we played against, and it was like one of the most athletic teams we ever played this whole season.
Now at a 6'5", 240-pound tight end, you got good hands, you run pretty well. You committed to Miami right now. As I said earlier, whenever a player commits, it seems like it intensifies the other schools. I'm sure other schools have been coming after you. Are you pretty solid with Miami?
Yeah, I'm very solid with Miami.
Now, are the schools, you have any other visits planned before signing day?
No, sir.
So you're going to stay with the Hurricanes?
Yes, sir.
What do you feel like as a tight end? You have good hands, good blocker. What do you feel like your skill set is going to be as you go to play for the Hurricanes?
Well, I think my biggest skill set is that I can do both. That I could run, catch, and I can block. I can get in line and block, and I'm a mismatch problem. I can line up at receiver in the slot, and I can go back at tight end and block sometimes.
Now, what was a couple of school standards that you considered before committing to Hurricanes?
LSU, Oregon, Alabama, and Florida.
Okay, and Elsa, you have some trips planned, some schools right now. Being a linebacker safety, where do you feel like your talent lies in what position?
I really want to play like safety, but you know, it's like the people becoming bigger, faster, and stronger now. So I'd rather like move around in the box of the 4-3, like a 3-3-5 defense, so where I can be close to the box and be in coverage a lot. And you know, I'm a very versatile player, so that's what I like to do.
Elsa, you're about a 5'10", 205-pound guy. Is that pretty accurate? Okay. What are some of the schools that you may be visiting in the next month or so?
I'll be visiting the University of Howard, probably ULL, Northern Colorado, and Ole Miss.
Okay, and Jeremy Jameson, you got great speed. You're about a 4.4 guy, I would think, on an eyeball test. Am I pretty close?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're about 175, 178 pounds, something. Is that pretty close?
165.
Okay, well, you look heavier than that. But you run bigger than your size. Where do you feel like is the best position for you in the next level? Where would you like to play? A wide receiver, running back, or somewhere else?
Well, I like to play running back, but I could also line up as a slot receiver and catch the ball also.
Now, what are some of the schools, Jeremy, that you're looking at to visit in the next week or so?
Well, I got Howard, I got Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Ole Miss.
Okay, and is there anything you feel like you need to work on to improve on before you get to the next level in college?
I gotta get bigger.
Okay.
And because I know a guy's gonna be bigger than, so I gotta get bigger too.
Now, Elsie and Stannis was talking about the type of offense and defense they were looking at. What kind of offense do you feel like? You like to get a wide open offense, a spread kind of attack?
I like the spread offense, like the offense we run.
And you feel like how do you feel like your hands are?
Good.
And as a blocker, you feel like
I can block too.
You know, and
small.
The thing is, it's got to make you feel good. You look at a lot of running backs that are 180 pounds or less that have excelled in the college level, and it's got to make you feel good. I've done a lot of West Virginia games for ESPN, and I remember Noel Devine, for example, who's a guy about 165, 170 pounds, who did a great job. So just because you're under 180 pounds doesn't mean you can't play in college.
Well, size really ain't nothing. It's just the heart. If you're hard in the game, you can do whatever you want to do.
Elsie, what kind of academics is important to you, and how does that play into your recruiting process?
Academics is going to be a very big part of my recruiting process because I know I'm not a very high recruit. So the school I'm going to go to is going to be very big in education.
Now, Stannis, we have about a minute left, and what areas would you like to improve in before you land on the Miami campus?
Well, I'm going to work on looking the ball in more, making sure I catch it before I run. I want to work on getting stronger.
Okay, and your speed, how's your speed? Pretty good?
Yeah, my speed's pretty good, but I'm going to work on it also.
Now, do you feel like are you going to be there in January, or are you going to finish out this year?
I'm gonna finish out the year.
Okay. Guys, again, we appreciate you being here. Congratulations, Edna Karr, with a state championship, and I guess you'll be pulling for the guys next year to come back and win another. Thank you again. We'll be back with more of the Prep Recruiting Insider right here at 2740 Severn Voodoo Barbecue. We'll be back with more. Don't go away.
We are back at the Voodoo Barbecue right here on Severn off Veterans. Ken Berthelot along with Renee Nadeau. Fabulous segment with the players and Renee from Edna Karr talking about their 4A state championship. And in this segment, it's time to announce our Max Home New Bath Player and Coach of the Week. And we always start with our Player of the Week. And he's a young man you just heard Renee Nadeau talk about. He is Karr High School running back Jeremy Jamison. And Jeremy had 14 carries for 129 yards, 2 touchdowns versus Neville in the state championship game. But more importantly, Renee, for Jeremy Jamison, when Karr fell behind in the fourth quarter, the only time this year they have trailed in the fourth quarter of a game, Coach Jabar Juluke counted on Jeremy Jamison. He handed him the ball, and he scored on that long 50-plus yard touchdown run, 53-yard touchdown run, and boom, Karr takes a lead. They never give up and go on to win the state championship.
And it's something you talked about a little while ago in an earlier segment with Jabar Juluke, that they really concentrated, Neville concentrated on shutting down Speedy Knoll, and Jeremy Jamison was the guy who picked up the team and carried them, and he did a great job. It was a primary reason for the state championship.
Our Coach of the Week, our Max Home New Bath Coach of the Week, is none other than Rummel coach Jay Roth. And Archbishop Rummel has never won a state championship in the 49-year history of the program. Well, they beat Barb 35-14, were in control of that football game, and celebration ensued as you would expect. But what a great job by Jay Roth in not only winning this year, but building that program and keeping it on such a high level year after year.
Consistency, Kenny, and Jay's done a great job winning over 80% of his games, and it's not an easy task in that Catholic district, but Jay Roth did it and brought it home this year.
Well, Frank Amos, our marketing director from Max Home New Bath, is usually with us. He'll be back with us next week. In the meantime, I want to tell you that they have a lot of new products which you can find at Home Depot. But if you're a parent and you're watching our program right now, first of all, visit their website. It's newbathnow.com. And when you visit the website, you'll find a lot of products, including some of the greatest baths, especially for older people, but not exclusive to older people. Yes, for middle-aged, for younger people. If you've got an elderly parent, a grandparent, if you just want to relax under some of the best baths, that's the place that you can get it right there. You'll see the products. And look in the upper right-hand corner, register there for the $25,000 home makeover. And goodness, Renee and I tell you, we register, but I don't know if we're going to ever win it, but somebody's going to win. We're not eligible, but we just do it for the fun of it. And I'll tell you what, folks, support Max Home and New Bath, and you can find the information at their website. Also, from the Voodoo Barbecue, we have with us right now Sarah Rittler. She is one of the managers here at the Voodoo Barbecue. Sarah, thank you for being with us, and thank you for having us as your guest.
We love having you here, anytime.
The smoked turkey is one of the very big popular things at Thanksgiving. You're going to have them again for Christmas. If somebody wants to order a smoked turkey, what do they do?
They can just call in. We usually like to get the order about a day ahead of time so that we can smoke it overnight. Usually it takes about 4 or 5 hours to smoke the turkey. And we will be open on Christmas Eve until 6 p.m. They need to pick it up before 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve.
3 different prices, $39, $49, $59, and what does each get you?
Yes, for $29.95, we have a whole smoked turkey. You can get it cold, and then we show you how to reheat it at home. We have a little tablet that we give you. Then we have for $49.95, you get, if it's 6 people, you get sides with it, dressing, cornbread dressing, cranberry dressing, and sweet potato souffle. And then we have feeding 12, you get the same things, just more of it.
Thank you, Sarah Rittler, and please, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to taste something that's very, very good, order your smoked turkey right now, because Chandra Piku and Regional Manager Jim Leslie, they are here. They are the people that smoke the turkeys, and you won't find a better meal for Christmas. And as Sarah told us, you can pick it up ready to go with reheating instructions if you'd like to pick it up cold. We'll be right back with our legends, and we have two on this show. We'll meet the first one. He is a former Karr coach. Right after this on the Prep Recruiting Insider from the Voodoo Barbecue. Oh, look at that fabulous food. Welcome back to the Voodoo Barbecue right here, 2740 Severn, right off. That's Kim Berthelot, Renee Nadeau, and our first legend guest today, the guy who got it all started at Karr High School a long time ago, the very first head football coach there. He was the head coach for 10 years, none other than Don Watney. He's got a state championship there, but before we talk about that, you're dressed in the purple, we've got the gold, and I know you're proud to still wear the colors of Karr High School.
So it's a lot of pride that goes with this color and everything else, and you know, I'm just happy to be a part of this. I'm glad y'all invited me to come down, and you can ask me anything you want to know about the school, and I'll try to fill you in on some things.
Well, Renee, he's wearing purple. He was the first coach. You probably picked the colors.
No, I didn't. I don't know if I'd have picked this color or not, but I love it because I wore it for 10 years. No, these colors were picked because of an old Warren Easton graduate by the name of Dave Lutenbacher, who was our first principal at Karr. And he was a Warren Easton man, and that's why we had purple and gold, believe me. Now, the nickname Cougars, that was put out for a vote by the student body, and the student body came up with that, along with the faculty, which we always had a great faculty at Karr. And because of the support, it's still like that, because of the support of a lot of people, that school has done well.
You know, Don, you were part of a couple of state championship visits to the Superdome. In '93, you took it home, '95. And you know, the media is not supposed to get involved, but you're one of these kind of guys. I remember doing a game for television, and off the air, I'm like, whoa, I was so happy for you. You know, talk about the '93 state championship team. It was very special, wasn't it?
Well, it was very special because in that game, with about 4 minutes and 45 seconds, I think it was, we were down 10-0. And we had to come back in the last 45 seconds to tie the score and then win in overtime. And that was really a big thrill.
And the '95 team was also a very special group. Came up short, but it was a great group of guys.
We were playing the same team. We were playing Cecilia, and we had a lot of good kids on that team, and we lose by 3 points. And it was just a pleasure being there. But of course, when you get there, believe me, I don't care who you are, you want to win. That's the whole goal, to get there and win. And you want to be proud of your team and proud of your coaching staff, which I always was. Because there's a lot of coaches that were at Karr, you know, along with me when we first started at Karr. So you want to do all those people proud.
How proud are you of this team and what Jabar Juluke has accomplished as the head coach over the last few years?
When it comes to rah-rah-rah and jumping up and down, I kind of keep my cool there, but I tell you what, I was raising my hands up. I wasn't screaming much, but I thought Jabar's done a great job. I mean, can't say enough about the job they've done and the kids they have. But like I said, we've always had good kids, and we always had a good faculty and good administrators, and it's just continuing on, and they're doing a great job.
You know, the one thing about, we talk about this all the time, the number of college and NFL talent that comes out of the city of New Orleans. Every year there's 35 to 40 players that prepped here that make it to the NFL rosters. Why is this such a special place that produces so much talent?
I think because kids are just grow up with that. You know, they start as a young age, and they have a lot of people to look up to, and there's a lot of pride within the community and in the city of New Orleans, and people want to, you know, do well and follow in other people's footsteps. They just want to be good football players, or good athletes, I should say. And most of the time, the kids that go to college usually finish. And those that are fortunate enough to go to the next level, and there are not a lot of them that do, you know, they're just happy to be there.
We're talking with Don Watney, former Karr High School head coach, the first football coach at Karr High School. Don, in the 14-1 state championship year in 1993, and you had some big wins. But who was the one? You had 14 victories and 1 loss. Who was the one?
You had to ask me that. We lost to Curtis. And let me say this about Curtis. Whenever we played them, we always played them tough, and we always enjoyed playing them because they were a well-coached team. Those guys do a heck of a job over there, and their kids played hard and they played clean, and we played the same way. And we always like to play Curtis because when you get in the playoffs, these are the type of games you're going to be in. And this is just the experience you want them to get. So when they get in those big games, they're not scared to death. They know what it's about. And it was always a pleasure to play JT.
But Renee, I asked him that for one reason, because soon after, you got one of your sweetest wins as a head coach against that very same team.
Yeah, that was my last year of playing, and we were fortunate enough to beat Curtis. And believe me, the feeling that you get from that, you're beating a good program, a good coach, so forth. It's like winning the state championship. I don't care what anybody says. That's the feeling I had when we beat them that night at Birmingham Stadium.
Don, you've been a role model for a lot of young coaches, and Jabar Juluke and guys like that look up to Don Watney. Who was your role model? Who did you kind of pattern your coaching style after?
Well, I came up under a gentleman by the name of Harry Horn, my high school football coach. And he's an ex-Warren Easton man.
Okay, I knew that.
He had a unique way of coaching, getting through to you.
He likes to say that.
But Harry Horn was, I would say, somebody we all looked up to, and all the people that played for him, he made men out of us. And he had a big influence on all of us, our lives. And through the years, I've tried to give back to kids what he gave to me. You know, he gave you something to work for, something to be proud of. And you want to see these kids become good citizens, grow up to be gentlemen, have families, and so forth and so on. And that's what I tried to do.
You played at Tulane, and in your Tulane tenure, who had the most influence on your Tulane career?
Well, one guy had a lot of influence on me as a freshman was Ray Pratz, who was an old-time Warren Easton ball player. I know he had, but Ray was one of them, and Andy Pilney was the head coach, and Stan Cotterman was also one of our coaches, and Jack Green, a few others, Mike Comerson. But anyway, those guys, you know, they had a great influence on us too, but none more than Harry Horn in my.
Well, you know, it's got to be great, and Jabar has a chance to come back next year. A lot of things have to happen. Another opportunity for a state championship game.
Well, it takes, look, you got to have more talent to get back there that many times. So you have to be lucky. You got to stay away from injuries, and of course, you have to have the talent, believe me, because they're not just handing this out and giving it to you. And it's a thrill to go through the process of getting there. You know, you have to win 4 games before you get to the Dome. And it takes a little bit out. Plus, you have to go on the road to win. But like I said, you know, at Karr, we've always had great support from the faculty. I have to mention it. And the student body, and the band, and the cheerleaders, the whole 9 yards. And Karr is a community school, and there's a lot of pride in the community of Algiers. I was born and raised in Algiers, and I know what it is to be an Algerine.
Don, thank you very much. Congratulations on a great career. Glad you're still following high school football and the Karr Cougars. And never enough time to do this, but we'll do it again, my friend. We'll do it again.
I appreciate you and Renee for inviting me to be here.
We'll take a break and be back with Bernard Robertson, a former Tulane, former NFL, and yes, a former Karr Cougar right after this on the Prep Recruiting Insider from the Voodoo Barber. Back at the Voodoo Barbecue right here in Severn, our guest is Bernard Robertson, who played at Karr High School and was on the '93 state championship team with Don Watney, the last state championship team until Jabar Juluke got this one right here. And then, of course, he's got a ring to prove that. He's got a 12-0 undefeated ring with Tommy Bowden at Tulane, and he's got a National Football League ring with the Chicago Bears for winning the Central Division title in 2002. Bernard Robertson, thanks for being with us, man. That's a lot of hardware you're carrying around.
it's only hard to keep polished.
Well, let's see if we can show the ring, and
Sure.
while they show the ring from Carr High School, 1993 state champions, turn it just a little bit the other way. There you go. Ben, you've got to be awfully proud of what Jabar Juluke has done with the Carr Cougars.
Oh, most definitely. You know, Coach Juluke is a stand-up guy. He had some big shoes to fill, and stepping in as head coach after Coach Watney, and you know, I think he did a good job at it. The emphasis has always been on the development of young men into adults and being good men, and I think he's continued that first and foremost, and then he's put a good product on the field as well.
You know, I know Bernard pretty well, and we've been working together. He's been a NFLPA retired players president for the last 5 years, does an outstanding job, very, very organized. I know Bernard, work with him all the time. But you know, coming up through Carr and Tulane has all helped you on the road to where you are now. But let's go back a little bit. Recruiting show, how tough was the recruiting process for you when you were coming out of Edna Karr and trying to decide where you wanted to go to college?
Oh, well, it's tough. You know, as a young man, you're not thinking that far in advance of your future, your careers. That's something that's left to us older guys to really come up with a plan. We're just happy to play, and we want to play on the biggest stage that we possibly can be on. And so when presented with those choices, you really have to just find out where you fit in and what feels the best for you. And coming out of the process, Tulane was that for me. It was the coaches who were there. It was some teammates from Carr that were going to Tulane with me as well. So it felt like a family, and it felt home for me. So that's where I made my mark. And it was something that helped me matriculate not only as a player on the field. It was, again, continuing that tradition that Carr had, which was staying in the classroom and having some success there.
12-0 in 1998, with you guys 28 wins in 4 seasons. It's not bad. It was a special season in 1998. Sean King was a quarterback. Tommy Bowden, talk a little bit about that, Bernard.
Yeah, you know, it was, I really want to give credit where credit is due with Coach Buddy Tevens and his recruiting and the staff, some of which were on that Tommy Bowden staff, but they really recruited local guys heavily. Myself, Noel Ellis, Jerry Phillips, and those are just the guys from Carr, but really emphasized getting local guys on the team, which started to have a transformative effect a couple years down the road. 1 year in, you know, when we were coming into Tulane, we were the team was 2-9. The following year we were 7-6, a big turnaround. The following year after that is when we had the 12-0, and a lot of that had to do with guys who were already there, believing in the system. Now that they had a system that was put in place for them to succeed, as well as having us guys locally that came in, and we used to call ourselves the dog pound. You know, it was
big lineman.
Well,
you know it.
It was. We always say we prefer for somebody to say "whoa" than "sickle," and we were going after everybody every time we could.
What did you take away from Don Watney at Carr and a Buddy Tevens and a Tommy Bowden at Tulane that helped you be the successful financial businessman, financial planner that you are today?
Character. You know, everything was centered on character. It was, you have to put in the work, you have to do the things that successful people do. There's no shortcuts to it. And in doing that, you know, you're going to have some setbacks, but you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you get right back at it, and you do those things day in and day out, even when nobody's looking, and you'll have success. And that's what all of those guys had in common, and it's something that I'm grateful to them for in my life.
You got a minute and a half left. You spent some time with the Chicago Bears in Windy City, 13-3 in 2002. Dick Geron was the coach, but you never knew who the quarterbacks were going to be. Cade McNown, Jim Miller, we can go on and on. But
Shane Matthews,
Hank
Burris, we had a couple of them.
But Brian Urlacher was with you on defense, and Olin Kreutz was the center. That was kind of a special time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a good group of guys. Again, I got lucky in that regard. You know, we started thinking about the Super Bowl shuffle all over again. We actually re-recorded it. Probably will never do that again because it jinxed us. But we had a good time. You know, there was young guys who were, again, eager to make their mark, hungry, and we just happened to be on one of the most storied football teams in the NFL. So it was a good time for us all.
Man, if Renee had his harmonica, he'd probably play and want you to sing a little bit of that Super Bowl shuffle right now.
Well, the dancing was the ugly part. The singing was all right.
You know, the young men at Karr were talking as they talked to you for a little bit and said, one of the things that impressed them about is your ability to communicate. They could see that your education has played a role in your success. Did you have a chance to talk to them and give them any advice as they were on the show with you today?
Yeah. You know, I had the blessing of being able to know Noel Ellis his entire life. I watched him grow up. I got the chance to play with his dad for many years, and being able to show those guys what that hard work that we were taught paid off into, I see it happening for them as well. You know, they're coming out of their shells now. They're fully coming into their own as young men, and I'm excited to see what they're going to be at the next level, because between the guys they got coming out this year and next year, I'm impressed.
Bernard Robinson, Karr, Tulane, the NFL, Chicago Bears, thank you very much. Congratulations on a great career, and thank you for being our guest on the Legends segment
Thank
today.
you for having me. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Prep Recruiting Insider from the Voodoo Barbecue right here in Severn, off Veterans in Metairie. Great food. Look at those ribs. Oh, our good friends at the Voodoo Barbecue and Grill, 2740 Severn, right here in Metairie. That number, 504-353-4227, or their website. You can order the smoked turkey for Christmas. There is no better treat. Our good friends Jim Leslie, Chandra Piku, they're the ones who smoke them, and I guarantee you, folks, it will be one of the best treats that you have. Also, want to remind you that sportsnola.com. Not only do you see Ken Trahan and his cast of characters with the great sports reporting that they do, but one of the bloggers is Renee Nadeau. And Renee, you've got two columns up right now on kids from New Orleans who are playing in bowls, and what an interesting story.
Yeah, you know, and you look at this, Kenny, and you got guys, just example, Patrick Lewis from East St. John is a starting center for Texas A&M. Floyd Raven is a guy who played at East St. John. Alabama has a ton of kids from this area. Texas A&M does as well. Munchie Lego is a quarterback from Cincinnati. I'm thinking Arizona. Gerald Bennett from Edna Karr is a wide receiver, and Jonathan McKnight, former Curtis alum, is playing for Arizona. So check out the blog, check out this. It's really a lot of information.
And listen, in today's BCS mess, if you'd like to say it, a lot of people think if it's not a big BCS bowl, it's not worth watching. No, Renee Nadeau says there are a few other bowls you will want to watch, but you've got to go to his blog to find out which one. And don't forget, next week, we've got St. Charles Catholic Day. Coach Frank Monica and company, and we're also going to look at the top 25 list. Time to get back to your key list, Renee.
You kind of look forward a little bit. Might take a peek at some of the guys who are juniors and sophomores in the next coming week. So you don't want to miss any shows. Frank Monica will have his guys who are being recruited. It's going to be a great show.
Congratulations to all of our winners, including our guest today, Edna Karr, and of course, Rummel Coach Jay Roth, and JT Curtis and the John Curtis Patriots, the three locals to win. That's going to wrap it up for Renee Nadeau and our great staff at WHNO TV. I'm Ken Berthelot. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, Voodoo Barbecue. We'll see you next week with more.